Hello, you're watching Health Day Now. I'm Mabel Jong. An advisory panel to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is waiting on new information before making recommendations on the use of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The investigation into rare reports of severe blood clots is continuing. Lynn Bahta serves as the clinical expert for vaccines at the Minnesota Department of Health and is a member of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, ACIP, an independent panel of health experts out of the CDC. Lynn, thanks so much for your time.
It's my pleasure to join you.
Now, the panel didn't seem to be able to come up with a clear position one way or the other on the resumption of the J&J vaccinations. What kind of information are you waiting on?
We're looking at ways that we can be more consistent in how we analyze the data. So we were looking at the number of people vaccinated versus the number of women vaccinated. And we want to make sure that we have that solid. We also know that CDC has an opportunity to dig in deeper to some of the information so that can guide our direction and also guide our ability to explain what's happening to everyone.
Now, how concerned are you that this pause will create more hesitancy in the communities?
I think it could initially cause some people to be hesitant. In the long run, though, I think that people understanding that we've only had this product being distributed for the last 6 weeks. And so to be able to detect a possible pattern of concern is actually a remarkable demonstration of how strong our safety monitoring systems are for vaccines. We really want to understand what this risk is all about. We know that it happens very rarely, but we also want to be able to explain that in an easier way to everyone so that they can be comforted. And I think that most people, they like the convenience of the one dose. They really want to be able to have that option as one of the 3 options they could use to get vaccinated.
Do you have a timeline or a schedule of when the panel will meet again? Are the chances great that the pause will continue for weeks and maybe not just a few days?
I don't have a sense of that. I think when we closed our meeting on Wednesday, we felt like a temporary pause until we could get a little more data about the cases was really what we needed so that we had a chance to think about it, analyze it a little bit more thoroughly, and then talk about what needs to happen in the next steps. And we really don't want to see a pause go on and on. We really want to get this vaccine back available to people.
Okay. How would you compare this situation with what is going on with what we've seen with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is also linked to clotting?
We think that the way that this illness shows itself are very, very similar. And so that provides us with, we actually in the US have a little bit of a jump start and have an opportunity to learn from our European counterparts about what they've seen and what works in terms of treatment, what symptoms people should be looking for. So it gives us a head start in that respect. We know that both of these vaccines use similar technology, and that can be a cue for us in looking at what is going on, who's at risk, and what needs to be done.
What are the chances, Lynn, that the vaccine could possibly be tweaked in some way to resolve this risk? Or is it just something rare, a rare event for which we'll need to be on the lookout for?
I think that I would have to defer to a vaccinologist or an immunologist to really answer that question. That's just not my area of expertise.
I understand. How can healthcare providers calm people's concerns about getting vaccinated in general?
I think the most important thing that they can be doing is making themselves available, helping people understand the rareness of this event. And if there are any additional guidelines that need to be observed, are there certain people that are okay to get this, certain people that shouldn't get it? Again, the data we're hoping will give us a much more confident answer to that. And we hope to get that information to the clinicians who are working with their patients so that they can explain to them that this is what we're seeing. We're seeing that it's rare. This is what you can do if you think you have symptoms. So again, knowing that it's rare, but in that rare event that it does happen, we've got an action plan.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn, what side of the table were you on during the panel meeting? Some of the experts there did feel that perhaps a pause, a shorter pause might be necessary versus a longer pause. How did you personally feel?
I think when I came into the meeting, I realized that what we were seeing was very serious, but also the incidence of it was very rare. And as we heard more information and what we don't know, I felt like we had an opportunity, another window to get additional information so that we could move forward with a decision, whether it's to move forward and have let anyone who wants to be vaccinated, or if the data shows us there may be some certain individuals where we would recommend that they seek the other 2 vaccines if they have that opportunity. So I was in favor of a very limited pause, and a pause like this does have an unintended consequence of creating an access of vaccine to certain individuals. And so we have to be really careful in how we move forward to make sure that we aren't withholding a very valuable vaccine for people.
All right. Okay, Lynn Bahta, is there anything that I've missed that you'd like to add?
Not that I can think of. I think people understanding that this is very rare. It is scary. If you're concerned, talk to your provider, get some more information from him or her, so that you feel assured. If you're nervous about this, we have 2 other vaccines as well. So we are very fortunate here in the US to have this type of choice, and can move forward to work together to end this pandemic.
All right, Lynn Bahta. Lynn Bahta serves as the clinical expert for vaccines at the Minnesota Department of Health. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And I'm Mabel Jong for HealthDay Now. Thanks for watching.